हेलो एंड वेलकम टू फ्लैशबैक। इस हफ्ते हम आपके सामने पेश कर रहे हैं मेरा एक पुराना इंटरव्यू जो करीब 15 साल पहले मैंने रिकॉर्ड किया था ए आर रहमान साहब के साथ। जी हाँ, द वर्ल्ड फेमस रेनोन म्यूजिक मास्ट्रो ए आर रहमान। ये इंटरव्यू रिकॉर्ड हुआ था अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी में, उसके ऑडिटोरियम में, इसलिए थोड़ी आपको एको सुनाई देगी गूंज, उसके लिए फॉरगिव अस फॉर दैट। तो प्लीज़ सुनिए, लुत्फ उठाइए ए आर रहमान के इस इंटरव्यू का। दोस्तों नमस्कार, मैं हूं संजीव श्रीवास्तव और इस हफ्ते हमारे मेहमान हैं एक बहुत ही लोकप्रिय, बहुत ही काबिल, बहुत ही कामयाब शख्सियत। एक ऐसा इंसान जिसने मौसीकी की दुनिया पे अपनी पकड़ की वजह से, सुरों पे जो उनकी पकड़ है, आवाज़ में जो उनकी जान है, उसकी वजह से दुनिया भर में कमाया है नाम। जी हाँ, दिस वीक वी हैव विद अस द वर्ल्ड फेमस म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर ए आर रहमान। और ये इंटरव्यू कुछ इसलिए भी स्पेशल और अलग है क्योंकि एक तो ये हिंदी में नहीं है, हमने इसको अंग्रेज़ी में रिकॉर्ड किया है क्योंकि वो उसी भाषा में ज़्यादा कंफर्टेबल थे बातचीत करने में, और दूसरा इसलिए भी कि आउटडोर लोकेशन में हमने रिकॉर्ड किया है यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट्स के साथ। जी हाँ, कुछ समय पहले हम थे अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी में, जहाँ के स्टूडेंट्स के बीच ये इंटरव्यू रिकॉर्ड हुआ है। When people say A R Rehman has composed this great music from Roja to Dil Se to Vande Mataram, Jai Ho is of course great, but is it his really best composition? Is it really that final work which he has done? When people say such things, what do you feel? Because you will obviously be knowing, it's like asking a father who is your favorite child.
I think for them, they don't realize that it's for the film, the film's music. It's not an Oscar for my musicality. It's for that particular scene where people felt at a height after, such a roller coaster ride in the film. There's so much of darkness in the film and lighter moments, but in the end when Jai Ho comes in, it relieves them so much and brings so much of hope to the whole thing. The dances, such a cheesy one, but it's such a vital, it relieves you from all the ride which the film takes. That's one of the reasons I think even Danny Elfman, I think some of the composers were interviewed and they felt that I never would expect that kind of a clapping from audience for my end title sequence, so which AR has got. So it was so honest from their side when all those stuff is said.
And so when we think of music composers and music scores being, when I was growing up as a child, I always thought that, how people must be composing this music. But later on I realized that actually the music was composed first, and then somebody wrote the track. Then somebody wrote the words, and then so it was all decided. The tune was decided first, then the words came in, and then everything followed. Is that the standard format that you also work with?
It depends on trust. If most of the directors want now, they are so advanced. They want a final product for the rough template itself. Initially, a composer would play a harmonium and show the tune, and this is the tune, and then imagine, okay, Lataji will sing this, Rafi Saab will sing this, and the orchestra will come. They used to trust. But now they want to know every detail of musicality. They want to know what rhythm is going to come, what voice is going to come. They almost want a complete track to judge it.
They want an advanced copy of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
the release copy for them. So that's the difference I face. And of course I do a lot of other private projects, like I did an album called Connections, which I love doing what I felt the audience could listen to and would like. It had 3 tracks of meditative tracks called Silent Invocations, then a jazz track, then a Punjabi, like a Mirasi kind of a track, and it had a Bhangra kind of track. It's all kind of stuff.
Let's just start from the beginning, if you may. Before A R Rehman came, music was always there. Then film music was there. Composers were there. But you came, like a breath of fresh air. Something very original, something very different. A lot of new instruments. The instruments were also perhaps always there, but the kind of mix and match which was done, and some kind of experimentation was seen in your music. तो ये क्या आपके अंदर से पहले से कोई जज्बा था जो निकल के बाहर आ रहा था, या आपने इसको बहुत सोच समझ के कल्टीवेट किया, और it was inborn? How did it all happen?
Music was in my family actually. My father was, in music. I grew up with all these things around me, and then when I started playing in bands, I used to listen to a lot of Western artists, Chinese music, Arabic music, all the stuff. And I used to think, film music, why is it only dholaks and tabla and strings and the same thing, which is great. But then for different films, it could be different, exposure of music to people. And those days when we used to hate film music. all the young people would go and buy, you know,
Western
Deep
music.
Purple and that and this and Bangle.
What?
So I said, why do we like that music? Because it's new and it's well produced. Why can't we do that in film music? Okay, when Roja came to me, I was like, this is my last movie. I want to do movies. I'm bored of movies. Because I was playing for movies before, 10 years for other composers. So let me do this to what I think is good for me and what I would listen to when I go and buy something. So that was the formula. Would I buy this music? Would I be interested to buy this music if it's on the shelf? And then what if it doesn't do well? I don't care about it. I believe that, you know, God was forcing me to do that, and the prayers of my family and stuff. But it worked out, and one by one people said, you have to do more, or you have to. The love of people was great, and that motivated me to even push myself harder. I was very lazy to work even more harder and harder and harder. I'm still going on.
हम आगे बढ़े रहमान साहब. Before we move forward, can we have one of your favorite songs, the one which you like?
From a film called Delhi 6, called Rehna Tu.
दो लाइन सर.
रहना तू है जैसा तू, थोड़ा सा दर्द तू, थोड़ा सुकून. रहना तू है जैसा तू, धीमा धीमा झोंका या तू.
So how did Roja happen, sir?
Yeah, I was doing commercials with Mani Ratnam's cousin sister. So one of the commercials I did for Leo Coffee, it won a lot of awards and people seem to love. I played Arun Sami, the girls loved Arun Sami a lot. So the whole track became very famous. And in that party, I think Mani Ratnam had come. So I invited him to the studio. Why don't you come to me? I was a big fan of Mani Ratnam. And it happened that he had a difference with Raja Saab, Raja Saab. And he came and listened to all my tunes. So that's it.
That's how Roja happened. म्यूजिक बनाने के साथ साथ, कंपोज करने के साथ साथ आपको ये भी शुरू से रियलाइजेशन थी कि भगवान ने आपको इतनी अच्छी आवाज़ भी दी हुई है. You are such gifted with such a lovely voice. Or what takes precedent, or when did you realize it really?
I think when you teach singers and then you start singing and showing the first, you're very. I played on the keyboard and say sing like this, and then slowly I started singing. And then one day I realized, oh, I'm singing well. So the first film that I did, I wanted to do a humming. So I did the humming and played it to Mani Ratnam. He says, who's his voice? It sounds interesting. I said, mine. So he had a smile. And then the next movie he wanted me to sing, Hamma Hamma.
That was Bombay.
Bombay. Yeah.
Can you sing that? Just 2 lines.
I'll sing it in Tamil.
Yeah.
And the Arabic kadaloram or Aragai kandene, the kannit tendral aadai vilakka kangal kandere, hamma 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 hamma.
You tell me one thing, when you were growing up, who was the biggest influence on you? Like, you know, like a lot of music composers who will now be growing up, maybe wanting to become another A R Rehman, or wanting to become maybe another, in terms of playback singing, maybe a Sonu Nigam or maybe a Lata ji or what. तो आप किससे सबसे ज़्यादा look up करते थे, और who was your role model kind of? More than one maybe.
My first role model was my father, because he was a versatile. He was too far advanced for, at that time. He bought the first synthesizer, and then in the contemporary pop scene, it would probably be Michael Jackson and Queen, and then in Qawwali, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. Then in film composing, John Williams and Ennio Morricone. So my musicality is not limited to one kind of style. Naushad Saab. Then K.V. Mahadevan, then MSV, Ilayaraja.
Naushad Saab is a great music composer. There was a certain simplicity in his composition.
A soul in it, something soul. Which mixed.
Which ones of Naushad Saab's composition you really enjoyed?
Mughal Azam.
Mughal Azam.
Don't ask me to sing that.
No, I won't. Naushad Saab से आपकी मुलाकात हुई है? Have you met him?
Yeah, I met him in '93, I think. Then just before he passed away, 6 months back, I went and visited him.
It was 2 years.
Yeah.
What did he used to say about your music to you?
I think he used to encourage a lot, and he was stressing on Hindustani classical and melody.
But there's a very nice mix of, whether when you talk about the synthesizers and the modern equipment, but there's still that bit of folk and earthiness and, something like a son of the soil in your music. Again, does it come naturally or you have to plan, okay, so this will be this much will be that? Is it like certain genius is quite deliberate, certain genius just comes very naturally? So
I take the best from everything, whether it's Indian classical or folk or Western classical or anything, and it goes inside me, comes up as my own in a way. So there's no not liking anything, and but the way I want to present it is to be very seductive for the younger audience to listen to, not them zapping it away.
And I actually read somewhere that when you were young as a child, you used to lock yourself up in a room and play with instruments and listen. And is this true, or is this one of those exaggerations which come when one becomes famous and big?
No, it's still true.
It's still true. So what is it that you do?
It's just, I think spending time alone is very important for creative people, so they can discover what's inside. And of course, I love meeting people, but solitude is essential. Yes.
A R Rehman साहब, सफर आपके साथ आगे बढ़ाएं. Please अपनी पसंद का एक और गाना बताएं. Just one more song of your like.
Rang De Basanti, the Bhagat Singh version.
Oh, it is one of my favorite films, and lovely music, because to do what we have heard in Shaheed and the old movies and Mera Rang De Basanti Chola, but what music you composed for that, I really want to salute you for that. So what was the challenge when you were doing something which has already been done before?
Well, I liked working with Raj Santoshi, and he was very passionate about the film. And even Sameer Saab, for the first time I was working with him. So he gave me all the lyrics first and then I composed. Though it was all traditional, it helped me a great deal to Sarfaroshi Ki Tamanna and Rang De Basanti Chola.
सर किसी की भी 2 लाइन गाएंगे इनमें से प्लीज.
मुझे रंग दे बसंती चोला माई रंग दे, मुझे रंग दे बसंती चोला माई रंग दे, रंग दे बसंती चोला रंग दे, रंग दे रंग दे बसंती चोला माई रंग दे.
और वंदे मातरम कैसे हुआ था? How did that album happen? बहुत बार पूछा जा चुका है आपसे ये सवाल, लेकिन फिर भी हमेशा सुनने में मजा आता है इसका जवाब.
I think it was bound to happen, destined I think, because a year before I met my old friend Bala, whom I was working for commercials, and Sony had approached me for an album. So all of us got together, and it happened to be India's 50th year of independence. So naturally, Vande Mataram was a slogan. We wanted to make it common to everyone, not be away from it. So it was clubbed with Mat Vijay Salam, which the real meaning of it is to salutations to the motherland. I never knew about the controversy and everything. We just did it with passion and love, and I'm glad that a lot of every community kind of came to me, and Christian community, Hindu community, Muslim community after that, and got so much of love.
And you really think that music has no religion, like art has no religion in a way. Is that right?
It's very true, because when I did Khwaja Mere Khwaja in Jodha Akbar, today also the Governor Saab came and said, I get tears in my eyes. Everybody says, Parsi people come to me and said, I get tears in my eyes. Christian people come. And when I did Opal and Hare in Lagan, it's a bhajan, and Muslim people came to me and said, it's such a beautiful bhajan, I love that bhajan. So it doesn't define it in the box. It's the inherent divinity in it which touches the soul rather than boxing it in one kind of thing. It's difficult to explain certain words, words fail to express some certain things when music goes beyond that, I guess.
और मैंने कहीं एक जगह पढ़ा भी आपका कि ख्वाजा मेरे ख्वाजा कंपोज करते हुए भी you had a very kind of a sublime, a different experience. You felt I don't know, I read somewhere that it was a very different experience. It was a spiritual experience for you.
It is, because Khwaja Sahib is very special to Hindustan, because he, with his bayan and with his music, people would just become Sufis, and he has such a great reputation. And then his philosophy was very universal. It's about, he said, my blessing will be like the rain, it's for everyone, and like the air, and like the sea. Water for everyone. It's not only for Muslims, Hindus, so it was beyond religion, his philosophy. And so for me, and he brought music into Indian Islam, And for me, it was very special. I wanted to do a song on Khwaja Sahab for ages, and I could never do it. And I was traveling to Australia when I was listening to on my phone all my tunes, which I was hummed, and I had this tune. On the way to the concert to Australia in Sydney, I think on the flight, this happened. And I went to my Murshid and he wrote those lyrics for us. And then the song was made was in the hard disk. And Ashutosh came in, and when he was narrating the story of Jodha Akbar, he said, and then they say, Ya Moin, and go for war and go and attack. I said, what, Ya Moin? Yeah, they were, the lovers of Khwaja Sahab, and said, I got a song already. He heard the song and said, don't give it to anyone, I need it. And so that's the history of the song. But I told him that he had to treat it with great respect, and he promised and delivered. So.
Rehman Sahab, you are also referred to as the Mozart of Madras.
I don't know what
I think Mozart of Madras to आपको खाली Madras तक सीमित रखना या limit रखना, it's not really very fair. But do you take that as a big compliment? Do you like really Mozart? Have you appreciated his works?
Well, I think it's not about the work, it's about the age. Mozart was very young when he achieved, so they parallel that. It's not about I composed like Mozart or classical or anything. It's just the age thing. I checked with Shekhar Kapoor, who explained to me the whole thing.
Okay. When we were talking about Vande Mataram, Ma Tujhe Salam, I remember when you got the award, you talked about your mother. Something very special, something very close to your heart.
For everybody.
For everybody, yes. But since you remembered her first at that time.
Yeah, it's, I think when you're alone in a foreign land and you have your family with you, you don't feel that alone actually. And it was good to have her, my sister, my wife, all of them there. So I wouldn't have cared even if I had not won, because my family was there. So it's important.
Is there, like so many people may be thinking ki, okay, Rehman Sahab ne ye compose kiya, I wish I would have composed it. Are there compositions which you hear in contemporary films which you always think, oh, that is really nice, I could have done it. Maybe I could have done it slightly better or slightly different. The things you have enjoyed most amongst your contemporary music composers.
There are a lot of songs, but there's so much of music I have to do. Go to the studio, listen to music. I get very few opportunities to listen to and probably evaluate a composer. But present day composers, I think most of them are very talented and they are international too. Like Shankar Sonloy and Vishal Shekhar and Salim Sulaiman and Vishal Bharadwaj. And the South, there are a lot of composers too. Like Harris Jairaj, Yuvan Shankar Raja. And my own nephew, G.P. Prakash, is also a composer. But it won't be fair for me to... Yeah, I never think like that. I always, when there's something very good coming out, it's great for the musicality of the whole... On the whole, for musicality, because then you get variety. You won't get bored of A R Rehman. You won't get bored of Shankar Sonloy. Because there's so many varieties. Like olden days, there used to be Shankar Jaikishan Saab and then Madan Mohan and Naushad Saab, all having their own style and having their own individuality. So it's a great thing to be welcomed by.
Really. And now that you are, and I'm not trying to say that just because you're sitting here, you are considered to be so much heads and shoulders above everyone else in the pack, or you are seen as the leader of the pack. But earlier, when there was still A R Rehman was a newcomer, because we are not in the industry, we really don't know how it works. But is there a lot of competitive spirit also involved, or is that always there's place for everyone and so many?
I always believe that my rizq comes from God. So whatever happens outside, I should never feel jealous. It's very easier said than done. We all get, but then it's like anger. Everybody gets anger, but then those who control it are said to be the most powerful people within, and they are the world's strongest man is the person who gets anger and controls it. Like that, even in music, to get that spirit is good, but putting it positively and improving your own work and not being complacent is what I do. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Let me come up to that level or be better than that. Is how I take it, rather than thinking that you should not compose like that. Only I should do. I never think like that.
Rehman Sahab, can I throw for a few questions, 2 or 3 questions from the audiences?
Sir, which of your own compositions is your favorite? I'm naming a few. I'm naming 5 of them. Just rate them according to your preference.
Oh my God.
So first is Luka Shruti from RDB.
I have a safety answer for this. I always say that Roja is my favorite composition because it's like first love, first film soundtrack I composed. And that's what set my standard for myself and other people. So,
Hello, sir. How much does technology matter when it comes composing music?
use technology like a pen. You know, it's just like those days they used nails. Now we use pens. So technology could be used to put your ideas into action, and like things like I can do a tune and send it on the internet to various parts of the world, get back. So use it like that rather than depending on that and that dictating your creativity. That's not good.
So I would like to ask you, when you want to relax, what kind of music do you listen to?
Mostly classical music, like Western classical or Indian classical.
अच्छा रहमान साहब ये बताइए कि there is so much about your music as your spirituality, as your God, because people know, a lot of Indians now know, or people the world over know Rehman for his music, and the fact that so many people just believe that, I hope you don't take it in any other sense, that you are like a God's messenger. People, because it is
That's
too
too much of a burden.
No, it is like, no, I don't mean it in any religious sense.
Yeah.
It is like you are so much inspired by something which is like what we in other language say extra constitutional or something really spiritual. How true is that? मतलब आपको क्या सच में अंदर से ऐसा लगता है कि कोई और करवा रहा है आपसे सब कुछ, कहीं से आवाज आ रही है, कुछ हो रहा है?
I think when I grew up, I think I had too many deaths in my family. My grandmother, whom I used to love, my father. So I think that kind of led me into disillusionment that nothing is real and it's all like a Maya kind of thing. And so when I looked at the Sufi philosophy and about fighting your ego and about that this world is not the real world and there's another world. But then I also started realizing, why not this world too? Why not give you joy to this world and be a part of a person who can make a change in whatever little way. So all this combined, and I went, probably in the 90s, I went so deep into, I was a fan of this book called Ihya Ulumuddin, and I started reading that so intensely. So once I finished reading, I feel like the world is not worth it. And then
संन्यास ले लिया जाए.
it almost like a sannyas. So even before my marriage, I said, give me any girl, I'll marry. So I tell this to my wife and she never believes that.
Really? But
Yeah,
you
because-
really meant it.
Yeah, I really meant it. My mother first selected the bride for me, and I didn't even see the photograph.
Really?
Yeah. So
What will all these young people think?
in a
But
way,
your mother selected the right girl for you.
I think so. So it was that state of mind, and I think that's what changed my. Like when I say that, I'm fighting jealousy, I'm fighting this. It is true in a way, not 100%, but humanly possible. Maybe that reflects in my music too, and my philosophies. When I write songs, when I ask the lyric writers to write, we jam together and
And Rahman, like you are saying that, fighting jealousy or fighting all such emotions, at the same time there must be another emotion which you will be taking care of, which is fighting some kind of performance pressure. Because it always comes that, now that, okay, now Oscar भी मिल गया, अभी उसका भी pressure है, अभी Oscar beating performance आनी चाहिए, अभी उससे भी अच्छा होना चाहिए, and that kind of, are you comfortable completely with that pressure, or sometimes you just think, hey Bhagwan मुझे बचाओ, I really don't want to, I don't want to always come to these expectations level,
it comes in, but then how many times do you get those opportunities again? How many times will it knock again is a question mark. And then why can't you use it? And why don't you push yourself to do that at this moment? It's not going to happen probably next year, it might not happen in 2 years. So that's the question I always put. And why don't we do that? Because it can change the world, it can change the way people think about India. So those kind of things push me to handle the pressure in a positive way rather than...
But do you constantly think that you have to be better than the last time and better than the last time?
Yeah, of course. Nobody wants a loser. Even your own family.
True, absolutely. Does your wife, does she help you cope with this pressure, or?
Yeah, I think my family is very supportive. All of them. My sisters, my children, my mom.
How many children you have?
3
How
daughters.
old are they?
13, 10 and 6. Son was 6.
All of them enjoy music.
Yeah.
They want to be musicians. अच्छा, और जब रहमान साहब म्यूजिक नहीं कर रहे होते हैं तो क्या कर रहे होते हैं? What's life beyond music and beyond?
I don't think like that because I'm here now.
So like any other hobbies, like whatever,
hobbies?
swimming, tennis, something else, whatever, reading, anything which you want to, maybe you only do music to relax further, but something else which you want to do relaxing?
I watch movies, French and Italian and Iranian and Chinese and all this stuff.
Any Indian movies you have liked in recent years?
I saw a Punjabi movie, Sufi movie.
और मणि रत्नम का आपने नाम लिया, which are your other favorite filmmakers?
Ashutosh, Rakesh. I've been working with all of them, so.
Okay, and my last question. A R Rehman has done so much, achieved so much, is so much loved, so much regarded. आपने अपने लिए, खुद के लिए क्या आगे का 5-10 साल का रोड मैप बनाया हुआ है? मतलब what is your target like?
My target is my school. I mean, I want to really put my energy into that. It was such a great idea, K Music Conservatory. And this year we saw the concerts of the students and I was really moved. There's a transformation, the way they came before and how they've got trained. And to take it much more further and probably spread it all, that philosophy of music to entire India.
Wow. Just very last year, Rehman, that you are a very shy person. One can almost feel it, that you would rather not speak very much about yourself. But if I have to request you to describe yourself in maybe a couple of sentences, that if you have to write about A R Rehman, what would be the 2 sentences you would like to write, that what kind of a person is A R Rehman?
I don't know. I start from zero. It's true that we have to like ourselves, isn't it?
True.
Sometimes I don't like myself. So I think it's better you can ask the ladies there or the gents sitting there.
They all love you, sir. They all love you like we all love you. But some one sentence explanation like...
I would call myself a learner. So that makes my life exciting. I want to learn things every day, whether it's in spirituality or music, or even though I got doctorate now.
Rehman sir, thank you very much sir for your time. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
तो उम्मीद करता हूँ आपको ये इंटरव्यू पसंद आया होगा। अगर आपको हमारा चैनल अच्छा लग रहा है, हमारा कंटेंट अच्छा लग रहा है, तो प्लीज़ चैनल को लाइक और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और कंटेंट को शेयर कीजिए।